morning, Mr. and Mrs. America, and all the ships at sea, as Walter Winslow used to say. Welcome to Viewpoint, that program, scintillating talk show in demand from Cairo to Rockford, Danville to somewhere out east, west. Anyway, glad to have you aboard this morning. We have this morning with us two ladies whom I respect very, very much. And Judith's idea to get them back on the air again. We've had them on before, and you should know about that. We always try to start Viewpoint with a kudo or two. The best kudo I can come up with is kudos to those people who give to local charities, which ties into what we're going to talk about this morning. So, Mrs. Busby, I doff my hat and wave the baton in your direction.
Oh, my.
The baton, that's
Nobody ever did that for me before. Goodness sakes. Well, we're going to have an interesting program. I'm going to enjoy it, and I hope you will too. We have two teachers from Northwest School here in Lincoln, America, and they had long, successful careers, and I'm sure that they saw some beautiful things happen, and I'm sure they saw some things happen that weren't quite so beautiful. They were school teachers. They're now retired, and they are Cindy Aussieker and Marla Williams, and they taught 4th-ish, 5th-ish, right?
I did. I'm Marla, and
yes, you are Marla.
I did teach.
We got that established
right away.
I taught 4th and 5th.
And what was your gig, babe?
I taught special education.
Did you?
Yes.
Well, bless your heart.
Oh.
Well, you met lots and lots of kids over the years, and you decided to develop an organization that's called Moms Who Care. And I'm sure you saw evidence of many moms who cared deeply, and you probably saw a little evidence of a mom once in a while and maybe didn't care quite so much as she might have.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. But anyway, it's still an ongoing program, isn't it?
Very much so.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, let's talk about how you came up with the idea and what it involved. Please, either take turns. Learn to take turns.
Moms Who Care started in East Peoria, Illinois. There was some moms over there who saw the need, and they made like hygiene bags with shower gel, shampoo, deodorant, toothpaste, toothbrush, and gave it to the school nurse. And they told her, pass these out, and when you need more, let us know. And they did, and then they did again, to where they finally, the school asked them just to come into the school and set up a little shop kind of thing. So we got involved with this because we had a dear friend who lived in Lincoln who moved over to East Peoria, and she got involved with this group. And she talked about it all the time and how rewarding it was. So we decided after retiring, we had all these other wild ideas that we were going to do when we retired. We were going to open a winery, we were going to have an ice cream shop, we were going to do all these different things.
None of that happened.
None of it happened.
Or just a beer and brats place.
So we decided to take a visit over there and see exactly what this place was, and we fell in love with it and decided that it was something that definitely Lincoln could use.
Well, tell us just exactly what you found and how you've recreated it.
It was, the kids got to come in and shop. So it wasn't somebody handing them a bag of something. They got to come in and actually pick out the things that they wanted.
Well, that's a good idea from the get-go.
Yes, and they focused a lot on helping them get jobs. So they had clothing that were, nice pants and shirts and stuff like that, that if they needed something for an interview, that they could go to an interview for. So they're trying to help encourage those skills also.
I urge our listeners to pay attention to the dialogue here. We have with us this morning two ladies who saw a need. And instead of scratching their ears and what are we going to do, they did something. And the direct result is the impact you have on families here in Lincoln is a huge impact. You're just doing God's work, seriously. I'll be serious about that. You're Number one, letting the youngster pick out things rather than just hand them a bag. There's something about that.
Right.
A little thing, but
So
still in all.
It's so cool to see, especially the girls will come in and they have to open every lotion, smell it, and then, here, you smell this, to their friend and stuff.
And they're all brand new lotions,
Yes.
brand new shampoo. These are, and we try to get name brands so that that they're shopping. They're like in the mall shopping, but they're in our schools shopping for these things.
And we do like the name brands because we know those are things their parents can't afford. So, parents can afford to go out to the dollar store or whatever and get a $1 thing of shampoo. But they can't get a $5 or $6 or $7 bottle of shampoo because they just can't do that. So that's what our goal is, to make all kids feel like they belong and to increase their self-esteem. We want them, when they come to school, to feel like they're just like everybody else, that they're not that person sitting in the back corner that nobody even realizes that they're sitting there.
Did you have the time to talk to the kids about shampooing and other
Personal hygiene?
self-hygiene things?
Sometimes, they'll come in, they'll ask questions, about, we have this one little boy who'll ask about the different toothpaste,
Yes.
Now what's in this toothpaste? What is in this that would
I didn't
be good
even know there were that many different toothpaste, and he has taught us a lot about
He has, but he asks questions, or sometimes with shampoos and stuff, they'll say, my hair is, really curly, and what shampoo would be a good shampoo for my hair or something.
It looks like you're like me. You've always had that problem with too much curl in your hair, too, haven't you?
That's pretty straight.
Yeah, right.
Well, the thing of it is, these youngsters are also, it's a kind of a learning curve for them, too. So as they mature and move along in their ages, they're learning something at the basic level, which is just really important.
Well, and as kids matriculate through District 27, they reach the age where they are physically maturing, and they've got to have some information at hand about taking care of themselves.
And we started this at the high school. We started
you?
We started at the high school level because we felt like if we started in the junior high, that when kids got to the high school, then they wouldn't have it. They would be depending on it, and they wouldn't have it. So we actually started at Lincoln High School first, and then we added Lincoln Junior High. We don't go below. Well, and we don't go below 6th grade.
No.
We
You find that works best for you.
Well, the kids, the younger they are, they don't know what
Of course.
They don't know how to shop. So they just pick up anything. So they're not really thinking about what do I need and what's
Well, and they
good
aren't
for
in the
me.
job market for sure.
Yeah. Well, and you'd be surprised how many high school kids are already living on their own. So
Really?
they're trying to hold down a job and go to school. And so we try to fill in those, use your job money for rent or whatever, and you get your other stuff from us.
There's
that
a
was
social
new to
problem
us.
I don't think we were aware of at all.
No, we weren't.
High school youngsters on their own.
Right?
Yes.
That's just unheard of.
So now,
It
along
is.
with shampoo and shower gel, we have laundry detergent for these kids that they can shop for. So that was something new. We changed some of the things that we had in our school.
So what you're saying in essence, and in truth, there's a lot of need right here in Lincoln.
Oh,
There is.
definitely.
Yes.
Oh, that's and so you're here's two mothers, moms who care. These moms care.
Yes.
Excuse me, please. I'm sorry.
I can't imagine kids living completely on their own
I
in
know.
high school.
Yes.
I know.
How in the world would you manage rent, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera?
They live, I think some of them live together. Some of them like move in with a friend's house.
Okay.
But still it's it's just sad. It's that.
And they're trying to work and go to
Yes.
school, and so
That's a plateful.
it is. It would be very hard to do that.
648-5510. Our guest this morning, Cindy Aussieker, and that lovely Williams girl, Marla Williams. Moms Who Care. You might have some questions. You get your eyes opened up to having these ladies tell us about what they're doing. They saw a need, and instead of, as I said earlier, instead of worrying about it, they just did something. Got in the car, drove over to where this chapter started in East Peoria, Illinois, and started learning, and from then on, here we are. And so, by the way, I mentioned this, we might mention this more than once. I mentioned local charities. If anybody sees a need or just has a couple extra bucks in their pocket, where would they address an envelope, ladies?
They can send it to either one of us, or we have an account at State Bank.
There you go. Make it
They can
easy.
just send it to State Bank and say that it's for Moms Who Care, and they will get it in our account, and then they send us a deposit slip. So
If you're in the bank doing a little business, drop a couple extra bucks on Moms Who Care account. It mounts up.
it does.
It does. Yeah.
And we have noticed
Yes.
since the pandemic how much more things are, costing.
Really?
My.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure it's hard for parents right now because
Yeah.
when Cindy and I shop and to buy their hygiene items or school items, it's costing us a lot more than it did.
Well, yes.
Yeah,
Everything
Judith was
does.
complaining about her beer cost. Her beer cost a lot more than it used to.
Now it'll be
Darn.
all over town that I'm an alkie. Oh, well. How many kids participate? How many kids in high school, for instance, are
We have the
homeless,
statistics.
Oh, I
essentially?
just happen to have a few numbers here.
Oh, and you brought your numbers.
We have the whiteboard here.
Good teacher.
We're just finishing up, so I'm working on my inventory and stuff. But this year at the high school, we saw 145 kids. And then totally, because we're at the Lincoln Junior High, we started at Chester East Lincoln and West Lincoln Broadwell. And totally, we're at about 235 to 240 kids in Lincoln that we service.
Listen,
there-
it takes a lot of money to serve 245 kids. Stop
does.
in at State Bank and mention Marla's or Cindy's names and leave an envelope there.
Now, we've kind of been talking about the toiletries, but you said that they could also come to you for an outfit to go apply for work if they're, for instance, a high school kid.
We do take gently used clothing, things that a high school student, we don't do it at the junior high level.
Yeah,
Sure.
right.
But at the high school level, things that high school kids might wear, we do take those. We do school supplies, which that was an eye-opener for me too, was when we went to the high school to put our spiel out there because we wanted to get started, and we said we did school supplies, and we have school supplies for kids. And I'm like, oh, that's great, So when we got there, their school supplies were notebooks that had been confiscated out of lockers at the end of the year. So
Okay.
some notebooks may only have a page or two of paper in it. They might have written all over the covers.
Sure.
The pencils were used pencils and stuff that made the janitor found on the floor.
Really high-class stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
you'd
we were
lust
just
after.
like,
Yes.
we can't. This is not what we're supposed to be doing, And I always use this example of, the first day of school. When our kids got ready for school, we went out and got them all new school supplies and a new outfit and all that, So they go into school, and Susie, I always use Susie, I don't know why, but Susie is sitting there and she's got all her new stuff out. And Johnny comes in and they hand him one of those notebooks and a pencil. And how his self-esteem
How does he
day
feel?
one
Right.
is
Exactly,
already
just
down
dropped.
Does he
here.
want to come
Yes.
back the next day? No.
And you're probably talking about a kid who's had it happen to him so many times over the years that people have said,
Right.
he doesn't look very good,
Yeah.
Listeners, as a fellow who grew up with this wonderful advantage of having parents who cared, we kind of get oblivious to the fact that there are kids out there who don't have that advantage. And so in a great measure, Judith and listeners, let's include Jim too. He's here. No, seriously, I don't want to be light about this at all. In a great measure, these ladies are also filling a social need, above and beyond the physical need of the things that they're getting these kids. These kids get the idea that they are somebody, and somebody is accepting them. And life is pretty tough, and going through it alone makes it a heck of a lot tougher. So you're doing a whale of a job socially.
We have the kids come back a lot of times and tell us, you know, you guys are like angels. You know, you
That
don't
make you feel
know.
good.
Yes.
You came around just at the right time in my life that, you know, I needed something.
Sorry. They may stop in on a Thursday when it's not their day to come, and they just give us hugs.
They just want a hug.
It's just a hug, and then they're on to class. And then they'll be back the next Thursday to do some shopping.
I'm sure you've seen an awful lot of kids who've been awfully grateful for somebody who cared. And you're both moms and you both care.
Well, and I don't want it to get across that these kids have parents who don't care.
Oh, no.
No.
Because I think a lot of them, they care, they just can't. They can't help it.
It's
They
beyond
can't
their
help.
means to
It
help.
is,
Yeah.
because, yes.
648-5510. Again, our guests this morning, Cindy Aussieker and Marla Williams, a couple of moms who really care. So you might have some questions and or observations. Be nice to them because they're doing a whale of a job out there. Good. Judith K.
How many years have you been having moms who care?
This is the 5th year at the high school.
The fifth?
5th year. We just ended our 5th year.
That's a good while.
Yes, it is.
Do
We
you
started
see-
off in a closet.
Yes.
Literally.
And
It
then
was
you came out of the
smaller
closet.
than this.
Yes.
And
Came out of the closet.
we did come out of the closet. And then we, for the first few weeks, you know, if we had one person,
Yes.
and that was our very first time we came, and we only had maybe one person.
In 3 hours,
And
one person.
our friend from East Peoria, she said, but that's one person you have helped. You have to look at it that way. And so we're like, oh, okay.
So we
all
went
right.
back.
So we went back. And then we started getting so many, word of mouth. They just started
Yeah.
bringing their friends. And we started getting so many that they were like, one day we went in and our stuff wasn't in the closet anymore.
They
And we're
kicked
like,
us out.
we moved you down the hallway to another room. So
Brad and Don think that maybe they're second-class citizens after all this.
Do you think that we hum along blissfully unaware of the people that could just use a little help?
I think maybe Cindy and I did, but teaching, where we taught, we saw a lot of kids that did need this a little extra help and a little push, and so I think that helped us make that decision to do this. And
Did you start, when you began your program here in Lincoln, did you start at Northwest?
no,
at the high school.
high school.
You started at the high school.
We're not at Northwest at all,
No.
basically, because we
Okay.
only do.
You don't have K through 8, you've got 9 through 12.
We have 6 through 12. So we're
Okay, the
at the
junior
junior
high.
high. We have 6th, 7th, and 8th at the junior high, and then the high school.
6th grade is at the junior high?
Uh-huh. Yes.
They moved them.
Yeah, you
They
did.
have been there for a little
When
while now.
they tore down the old junior high
Okay.
and they built the new one.
Judith K., I have another confession. Here we are, 8:35, and we haven't paid obeisance to our sponsors.
Okay.
We always get that. We always forget that. So, Mr. Rash?